everybody, and welcome to this video. I'm Shenoy Manek, your transformation coach. And in today's video, I'm going to be discussing one very powerful neuro-linguistic programming technique, which you can start using right away. Now, the technique I'm going to be discussing today is called as anchoring. And anchoring is one of the most powerful techniques I've come across, and it's a state management technique in NLP. State management means that you are able to stay in peak state most of the time, and you're able to create the kind of emotions that you want to within your body at any point in time. To begin with, let us discuss what is anchoring, right? And how does it work? Anchoring is something that all of us are already doing unconsciously. We have been doing it since the time we were born, right? For example, if somebody throws a stone at you, you're going to go, oh. It's a physical response. It's a stimulus response, right? Now, a certain type of music makes you feel a certain way. For example, some of you, and I do it too, sometimes you use a cup of tea or a cup of coffee to feel relaxed. Some people use addictions like smoking or drinking to feel a certain way. Some people use shopping to feel a certain way. Now, certain things make us feel a certain way. Now, these are neurologically connected responses, which means that we don't even have a choice. It happens automatically. How does one do anchoring the NLP way? Which means wouldn't it be great if you could create the kind of emotion that you wanted at any point in time? Which means that you could program yourself beforehand for something that's coming up. For example, let us say you have a conflict in your relationship, or you have a conflict with your boss or with your peers, and you know that more or less every time the same kind of situation happens. You say something, the boss says something, and the moment that happens, you go down and you're not able to give that witty remark, or you're not able to speak up, or you're not able to be assertive. And at that point in time, you want those emotions to be there. Next time you speak to your boss, you want to be strong, you want to be assertive, you want to be intelligent, you want to be witty. Let's say that's what you want. You can anchor all these emotions using neuro-linguistic programming, using anchoring. Since we have always been doing it naturally, today let me share one technique or one way in which you can start doing it right away. There are different ways. You can do it artificially also, and that's a very powerful technique, but you can do it naturally. A long time ago, me and my family, my spouse Vimal and my son Tanmay, we had gone for a vacation to Goa. Now, back then we used to live in Bangalore. So Goa is a destination that's quite close by. So you can't go international every month. So whenever we felt like going, Goa was one place. So we started going to Goa very often. So it was our fourth or fifth trip to Goa. And by then we had seen everything and we were like really bored of Goa, right? But we still wanted to go there to relax. So in that particular trip, we were in Goa for 5 long days. And for 5 days, we did nothing but relax on the beach. So we were, one day I remember I was lying on my sunbed. I was having a nice breezer in my hands, an orange breezer, I still remember, the blue ocean in front of me, the white sands of Goa. And I was sitting on the sunbed, and all of a sudden I had this feeling within me that I had never felt before. It was this deep feeling of contentment, deep relaxation, a feeling that, oh my God, life is so beautiful. And I had never felt contentment to that extent. And at that point in time, all of a sudden, I had this idea. I said, what if I could anchor this emotion? What if I could anchor this so that I can get this emotion another time when I'm feeling stressed, when I'm back home and I'm feeling stressed and there's so much happening in my life? What if I could recreate this emotion of deep contentment and relaxation? So what I did at that point in time is I did something called as creating a physical anchor. It's called creating a physical anchor. So whenever you're feeling any emotion very deeply, if you repeatedly do a certain physical action, right, that action gets anchored to that feeling. Because what your brain says is that, okay, every time this feeling is happening, this person is doing this action, which means that probably this action is leading to this feeling. It's like the cup of tea has got anchored to feeling a certain way. That cigarette has got anchored to feeling a certain way. Shopping has got anchored to feeling a certain way. Similarly, you can create physical actions or physical motions that will make you feel a certain way. In my last video where I shared 3 NLP techniques that you must learn, this is in the series. I'm explaining each of those techniques in detail. Last video, I did calibration. Today's video, I'm doing anchoring, right? I told you about that example of how Tony Robbins is my mentor. He uses this action of hitting on his chest, right? So every time he wants to feel powerful, he hits on his chest, and that's an anchor. So lying on that sunbed, feeling that deep sense of contentment, I made this action. Right? I did it a few times and then I stopped. You don't do it too much. The next day, again, I waited for that feeling to come naturally. And when I naturally, in the middle of the day, in hot sun, the umbrella above me, my breezer in my hand, the sea in front of me, I got the same feeling. I did the same action. And I did this for 3 or 4 days consecutively. And when you do it repeatedly like this, you get that emotion, you do that action. You get that emotion, you do that action, right? What our body feels, our neurologically, this particular action gets anchored to that feeling. So in the future, anytime you're feeling stressed or you want that feeling and you want to feel amazing, all you have to do, and you're like stressed and you're like, oh my God, I can't take this anymore. You go, okay, fine, let me relax. And trust me, the feeling automatically comes into your body. Now, anchor can be created for confidence. Anchoring can be used for creating excitement. Anchoring can be created for using playfulness, relaxation. Name the emotion and you can use anchoring for that. Now, there are different variations of anchoring, and I'm going to give you quickly the names of those variations. If you're enjoying this video, everybody, please type in enjoying. I'm sure that you really appreciate the videos I've been making. So many of you are attending, commenting, sharing. I have deep gratitude for each one of you who is passing on this content to more and more people. Let me quickly give you the names of some other variations of anchoring. Of course, you need to attend an NLP workshop to get the whole toolkit to understand the different variations and to really make it a part of your life, to neurologically condition yourself to stay in peak state. There's artificially creating physical anchors, which means you can artificially get into a state at any point in time using several methods of NLP, techniques of NLP, and then anchor that. There's something called as stacking states, where you stack different emotions and you create one powerful emotion for yourself. There's something called as collapsing anchors, which means that when there is a negative anchor that's automatically got formed. For example, you see your child and you get angry. Every time you see your child, you feel angry. That's not a useful anchor. So there are techniques in NLP with which you can collapse and crash those anchors and remove those anchors which are not useful for you. Thank you so much, everybody. I will keep making such amazing videos. If you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, NLP Magic, consider subscribing because there's so many videos over there with which you can transform your life. Thank you very much for joining me today. Deep gratitude to each one of you. And I'm going to see you all very soon again. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a wonderful day.